Whether you yourself are a toxic parent or you grew up with one, it's a difficult situation. Parenting is tough. Being responsible for another being with no instruction manual and sometimes with little support can really change a person. Sometimes not for the better. However, it's important to know if you are or are dealing with a toxic parent in order to set boundaries and not burn any bridges. Today, we'll be discussing 10 traits of a toxic parent. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, as well as to click the notification bell so that you never miss a video. Number 1. They guilt control. Guilt is a normal feeling that comes with parenting. But when it's the child feeling guilty for just being themselves, there's a major problem. Guilt controlling is a tactic most toxic parents use to get what they want from their child. Toxic parents have a tendency to want to control every aspect of their children's lives, sometimes past the point of being a child. If a parent is constantly telling the child how much they gave up for them or how much they do for that child every day, that could be a sign of a toxic parent. These children can often grow up to be people pleasers, afraid to disappoint or upset anyone, which is a very toxic trait to have as a person because it often leads to not being able to set proper boundaries and low self-esteem. Number 2. They are attention demanding. It's normal for a parent to expect their child to reply to them promptly or for parents to get frustrated when they are being ignored. However, toxic parents over-demand their child's attention in an unhealthy way. This is because these parents actually feel their control of their child being threatened should something have their child's attention. These parents may act closed off and distant should you bring a new boyfriend or girlfriend over when they were used to having your full attention. Or, in later years, these parents may become easily offended should you not be able to make it for a family gathering. Rather than give you the support you need, usually these people are not only attention-demanding parents, but attention-seeking in general, which can also be a difficult trait to deal with as a romantic partner, such as the other parent. Number 3. They use the silent treatment. Any healthy relationship is based on a strong foundation of communication. Discussing emotions and feelings with the people you are closest with is a crucial way to become vulnerable and understanding in order to connect on a level that benefits both people. This is especially important in a parent-child relationship. Toxic parents, unfortunately, have a habit of closing down or lashing out when they are being challenged or disagreed with. They use this as a defense mechanism because they themselves feel overwhelmed and helpless. This is an extremely unhealthy connection to have with your child or parent because it creates an environment where security and trust is lacking. Children will often grow up holding a lot of things in and not discussing things openly with their parents as a result of being afraid of their reaction. Number 4. Their feelings come first. A parent is the decision maker of the household, and normally when making decisions, they have everyone's best interest at heart. However, when it comes to a toxic parent, they don't even realise that other people may be affected with their decisions. It only matters if they themselves benefit from it. Parents are often expected to put their feelings on the side once their children are old enough to make their own decisions. Like the decision to move away for school or maybe even move in with a boyfriend or girlfriend. Toxic parents, on the other hand, will make it very apparent that they do not agree with your choices because they take it very personally. Some toxic parents go as far as shutting down and giving the silent treatment or guilt control you to not leave. Number 5. They are clueless to your boundaries. Anyone who doesn't respect or realise someone else's boundaries is a hard person to be around. Overstepping boundaries can lead to feelings of no privacy and judgment. Overstepping boundaries in a parent-child relationship can be anything from constantly barging into a child's room without knocking or listening in on phone conversations and then asking them about it later. Curiosity is normal for most parents, but overstepping boundaries should never be the result of that curiosity. Overstepping boundaries can also come in the form of having the child put on an act or do something they don't want to do for family or friends. This can be anything from forcing the child to give company a hug when they are noticeably uncomfortable, or asking them to repeat something they did accidentally earlier for the sake of their friend's entertainment. Number 6. They use their love as a weapon. For most parents, love is unconditional. It does not waver or die off. Toxic parents, on the other hand, are compelled to use love to get what they want, or as another tactic for their guilt tripping. Their toxic parents will give and take away their love depending on the situation. For example, if the child wanted to move away for college, and that parent insisted that the child will no longer have their support if they don't go to school locally, there is no support or thought of anyone else's feelings but their own in most situations. So if it's not going their way, they don't have any time for it. This can also lead children to become people pleasers as adults or use love in the same way. Number 7. They over-criticize. Criticizing is an obvious part of parenting. When a child is learning or growing, positive criticism will be the basis of a lot of things they learn. However, being criticized past the point of being beneficial calls for unwanted low self-esteem and issues making decisions on their own in fear that they will get it wrong. Overcritical toxic parents will enforce their own judgments on their child, rather than the information for the child to make their judgments themselves. For example, if a parent is overcritical of their new hairstyle the child got, it doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the way the child is expressing themselves. It's solely based on the parent's judgment of not liking that haircut. They make the child feel like everything they do is probably not the best decision. Number 8. They compete with you. Because toxic parents treat their children more like friends, they will often become jealous of the child's achievements, relationships, and sometimes even looks. This results in an unhealthy, underlying, one-sided competition within the relationship that amplifies the feelings of jealousy and competition. Competing parents have different ways of communicating this unhealthy competition. For example, small remarks like, "Congratulations on getting your license. I had mine for 3 years already by the time I was your age." Or, "You must have gotten your father's hair, because my hair was so much thicker when I was your age." Uncalled for remarks like this are worth noticing and not taking offence to, because it all stems from their insecurities. Number 9. They expect you to make them happy. Just like we mentioned before, toxic parents will use their children as their replacement BFFs, or even their therapists for that matter. Toxic parents will make it a point to use tactics like guilt tripping, the silent treatment, or simply taking away their love in order to have the children fulfill their emotional needs. These parents often make unreasonable demands to their children, expecting their child to choose the parent over personal matters like their own friends and relationships. In the eyes of these parents, they write it off as healthy bonding with their child, when in reality, the parent is stripping the child of socialization and relationships that are essential to their growth as individuals. Number 10. They make you uncomfortable. At the end of the day, it's pretty obvious if you have a healthy relationship with a parent, but with nothing to compare it to, some people may consider it normal. As an overall, if you generally don't feel comfortable around your parent, like you're constantly walking on eggshells and aren't excited to share your life with them, this is a major red flag. Any person who feels talked down to, disrespected, or gossiped about by another person will have the intuitive feeling to no longer invest time in that relationship, parent or not. Well, that's it for today's video, Psychos. Comment if you think you are or are experiencing a toxic parent. Also, make sure to leave us a like, share this video with your friends, and also subscribe to our channel for more Psycho videos. We hope you learned something, and we'll see you in the next video.